What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Big Vern coming to you live from the App Stupid Studios. Act like you got some sense. Smash the like and subscribe button. We like it when you do that here. Also, you're digging the show, share the content. We can only grow the channel. Thank God it is Friday, especially in the slow sports media. Got a couple of stories for you today. We've got Zach Arnett. He's set to join Ole Miss, their coaching staff. Nick Saban said, what? Yeah, we got that going on today. And then we've got a weird high school story about Mr. No Man's Zone. Trust me, it is worth the wait. And then you have the Chiefs and Dolphins. Now, some of the fans who attended that record cold game, they now need amputations. Yikes. And then another heartbreaking story, also in the association, the NFL. The football league. We've got Britt Reed. He's in the news again, and it's not pretty. Again, it's not a great uplifting Sports Friday, but nonetheless, we got to go ahead and cover it. And we'll be back from a quick 20 from another unofficial sponsor of the show. This is Big Vern at App Stupid. Yes, Planet Fitness, big fitness energy. Visit the good folks down at your local Planet Fitness or download the app. Planet Fitness is a judgment-free zone, $10 a month. Again, Planet Fitness, it is a judgment-free zone. So we're going to go ahead and start in football scoop with Zach Barnett. And this is dealing with Nick Saban and his retirement. He has been pretty much hush-hush since his loss to Michigan in the NCAA playoffs. And like I said, when he's broken his silence, Nick Saban's put his foot in his mouth. He said the portal and NIL played a factor in my retirement. Yeah, because players actually having a choice and then players being compensated fairly for their attributes on the field. That somehow is going to force you into retirement. Stop it. And then Barnett goes on to say, Nick Saban gives a reason why he left the college football. He says, and I quote, so I'm saying to myself, maybe this doesn't work anymore, that the goals and aspirations are just different, and that it's all about how much money can I make as a college player. That's rich and selfish that he'd even drop that quote, considering he had the highest paid college coaching staff in NCAA, but somehow paying kids who put in just as much work as him and the staff is a problem. Knock it off. Knock it off. But Barnett continues. Saban explained to ESPN's Chris Lowe. He first started thinking about hanging up his straw hat following the 2022 season. Greg, this is going to get more difficult on me. Really? Saban told Brian, I'm not ready to do it now, but we're going to have to start evaluating this more on a year-to-year basis. So according to them in 2022, that Nick Saban was actually thinking about retiring, because when the news came down, and it wasn't just how things had broke apart, because when they lost that court ruling where now you had to start paying players, he was looking for the exit then, because you don't have dominion over kids. And see, the problem with ESPN and Fox Sports and CBS Sportsline and those other agencies is that they don't give the ruling class any pushback. They care about access and protecting protecting that access at all costs. So they play the game and give fluff pieces. The portal broke a system of stockpiling talent until said kid worked out. That system benefited the coach and the schools, but not the players. For example, in 2009, Alabama had Trenton Richardson, Eddie Lacy, and Mark Ingram. They all went to the NFL. Now in 2010, Ingram rushed for 875 yards. Richardson went for 700 yards, and Lacy went for 406 yards. They went on to win the national championship in a perfect 14-0 record. However, that system right there would not work in today's times, and it shouldn't have worked back then. They locked up 3 NFL backs that could not transfer, could not get paid, and made the school and Saban a mountain of cash. You see how one-sided this sounds. Also, Barnett continues, Alabama blew a late lead against number 1 Michigan in the Rose Bowl. Though no one knew it at the time, Michigan would go on to win the national championship the next week. After the game, Saban knew he'd missed his last chance and best opportunity to win a national title. He also didn't recognize the team he saw after Alabama lost to Michigan in overtime. The Crimson Tide did not handle the loss in the fashion Saban expects. Come on now. So you not only expect them to get paid, you don't expect them to actually leave and go and better themselves and enrich themselves, but you also don't want them to be emotional. I mean, how it just gives you a mind into people who are delusional. He dropped a parting shot at the players. Yep. Classless move. He said, I want to be clear, that wasn't the reason, really. Now, this is Saban's words, but some of those events certainly contributed. Saban said of his decision to retire, I was really disappointed in the way the players acted after the game. You got to win with class, you got to lose with class. We had our opportunity to win the game and we didn't do it. And then showing your ass and being frustrated and throwing helmets and doing that stuff. That's not what we are and what we've promoted in our program. Yeah, I kind of say that is what you promoted. That is everything in the entitlement that you actually fostered. And so saying a kid can't be emotional after a loss about all the hard work they put in the weight room, in the film room, and now you're just supposed to be emotionless on the world's biggest stage. Come on, these are not robots. So let's be honest. You don't belong there to begin with because they job Florida State. Right. They job Florida State. So Alabama did not even belong there in the first place. And for you not even to have a comment on why you all leapfrog Florida State when you didn't go undefeated, that just made no sense to everybody in the country. Alabama got beat up between the tackles by the Wolverines. The kids played their hearts out and they can't show emotion. Again, we covered that. That's just weird. Not even a little. Stop it. I'm just saying my coaching style and higher arc approach doesn't work anymore. Don't scapegoat the kids because that's weak sauce. If you're able to keep locking up kids where they can't go anywhere and all of this NFL talent, then again, you were just fine when the system benefited you. But now it's starting to work and you're having to kind of share in the gains. Now it's a problem. More ridiculous stuff because Nick Saban then departed to his Jupiter Island home in Florida. Yeah. And him and his wife, they started having serious conversations about his his retirement. Him and his wife, after a loss, they started commenting on that. But if you look at the average house in Jupiter, Florida, the average house in Jupiter, Florida sells for $1 million, no less. Me, you, anybody listening to this program, Anybody who's seen this thumbnail on Facebook, you could not walk through Jupiter, Florida without the police pulling you over, stopping you, asking you, why are you here? You don't belong here. We know this. We're not going to be silly. Not only do you have the average of the house, that the homes are actually $1 million and more, you also have this ridiculous thing where he's just like trying to be painted as the everyday man, the guy who basically just goes to work and the hard hat. His media PR is amazing. This guy is elitist because if Nick Saban was a politician, people would hate him. This man has 8 high-end Mercedes dealerships. The guy was making upwards of $30 million at Alabama. And then the minute that the kids start to get paid, the minute that you can't have rule over what they do and where they go, and they just have to kind of stick it out at Alabama and there's nothing they can do about it, the minute that the players start to have freedom, now you bounce. It's the same reason that he left the NFL, because he couldn't control every waking moment of these kids. He couldn't do that to grown men. And that's why he didn't last in Miami at all. But again, I could be wrong. Let me know what you think. Did Nick Saban put his foot in his mouth and really expose his true colors about the players? Or was this all just, I'm going to get everything off my chest that I didn't back then? This is Big Vern at App Stupid.